And I don't have anybody who has signed on for the video, but it makes no difference. I still need to have a meeting and I still need to let you all know what's going on. I have only connected to the basic Zoom process, which means that I only have 40 minutes to talk, and I've already used up a few of those minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And if you have any questions, you can contact me directly at careers@aviationcamps.org. So let me go ahead and get started on the first part. As you might realize that I will not be able to continue the camp myself forever. So it is time for me to make this information available so that someone can start to ramp up and understand exactly what this camp is all about and what we're going to be doing, so that 14 years from now, if that's where it is, I'm going to be in my 80s. And that's really not a time for me to be continuing to run a very high, fast-paced camp. So it's important that I tell you what all is going on. And most people don't realize that there are enormous amount of items that are required into the camp. So let me start by screen sharing, and let me walk through some of the things that I need to show you. Let's see here. Oh, it'll let me do that. Hold control. No, I don't need that. All right, the first item I want to show you is our, let's see if I can find it. All right, so this is what I actually wrote down for the camp. There are an enormous amount of work that goes in before the camp. There are many things that have to happen after the camp. And just the campers themselves and the process that we put together, once we've done all of the work, it seems to work very seamlessly. But I need you to understand that if you are a member, a board member, and you want to continue to support the aviation camps, then you're going to have to make a choice. Do you want to be a part of the process of getting the camp up and running each time? Do you want to follow up and do the contacts of all of the students, past and current, and also help with the fundraising, the donations, and just reminding people on websites what they need to do and what they can do in order to contact us? But most importantly, as a member, director, a board member, director of this aviation camp, we need funding. And so grant writing is important for us, but as well, we also need um, uh, for you to reach out to your social media opportunities and let people know about the camp and generate enthusiasm about the camp so that folks will want to donate. So I put upon you that each one of you will go and find enough donations to make $1,000 per person. I easily always have to back up the camp in the end if there are funds or if there are bills that need to be paid, and trying to also fundraise and put the camp together and talk to people and follow up is just about impossible. But I've been doing it all these years, and it is time for everyone else to step up and help make this the best camp it can be. And I'm actually very proud of the camp as it is. I just want to make sure that it continues to run smoothly, that it continues to focus on teenagers, and they are high past, short attention span, and they're good kids. They're good people. So I want to make sure that this is an adventure, a fun time for them. This is not a school program, although it can be mentioned that we are considered an educational journey. So if you want to actually get out of school or a class for some reason, I try to plan it so that it's a vacation time for the kids, but I can't, the school districts all work in on different schedules. So it's impossible to always have it during a time when kids are out of school. Anyway, you can also direct that to the principal and guidance counselors so that they understand that the kids could get out of school and get credit for this at the same time. All right, so the first thing I had to do was find a camp. And what I like to do is find a headliner. somebody I think that's like the greatest thing ever, find out what date they can come, and then try to plan the camp around that. Then I go to the airport director or the airport manager and ask them, can we have a camp on that day? Which will in turn send us forms that we have to fill out, legal forms that says we are totally responsible for everything that ever happens to that airport during the time that we're there. We're responsible for it. So I have to sign that in order for us to get the camp. Then we need to get some information out about the camp, and we don't even have the camp yet. But the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts need very early information so that they can put it in their newsletter, and the newsletter comes out months, or they said the submission to the newsletter is months before we get to the, can't seem to get that glare off of my face, months ahead of time. So I want to make sure that you understand how critical it is even to start to plan. All right, once we do that planning, we get a flyer out, design a flyer so that we alert people as to what's going on and pass that flyer out to anyone who might be interested. Anyone who wants to come to this camp, I don't care where they live on the planet, is welcome. So all they had to do was do the sign up and then make the payment, because that's how we know for sure how many people we have in the camp. I have a web designer, so we contact the web designer and make sure we get all of the updated information on there. Where if you go to that page, by the way, HTTPS, I have to say S on there, because if you don't have the S on there when you select these words, it will give them a caution. Don't go to this website. It has to have S on there. Anyway, it's aviationcamps, one word, .org. They can go there and find out what the latest word is for what we're doing on the camp. Anybody who wants to add information to the website, just let me know and I will get that information over there to them. We charge the kids $125. We're trying to make it affordable. If parents want to come in as a chaperone, by the time we finish with get all of the volunteers that we have, we really don't have room for more adults, which are chaperones or parents. But so I will leave at least three slots for parents. They pay more, $150, not $125, because they're really only there for fun. And it's fun for the kids, but the parents are there too. I have issues about the parents too, because they'll come in and start asking questions and start taking the focus away from what I want the kids to hear. So anyway, so just so you know that. We verify the person who is going to be signing off the blue cards, which is me right now. You have to be credentialed. So, and that comes up every year or every other year. You must continue to make sure you have the credentials, otherwise you cannot sign off those blue cards. And everything we do includes what we would have for Boy Scout. We were doing this already. So now we just add one thing on there, and that's the airplane that we create and fly at the end of the camp. All right, so here are the number of folks that are going to be normally in there, the usual suspects. We have a pep rally at the beginning, the pilot helo, ATC, Civil Air Patrol, any kind of flight school, Young Eagles, maintenance visit, Med Center Air, which is the medevac helo, aerospace engineer, military squadrons, private pilots to fly in. We avoid lectures where we sit down and just talk, but except for the Young Eagles, because we like them to come talk to them and get them out there some other day to fly a free flight, which is about at least $200 if you were paying for it. Also consider anybody who's associated, such as the bomb squad, K9 unit, drones. I've already had an astronaut. I've had a engineer from Skunk Works, which is I can almost see the word, but one of the higher military airplane designers. So it was very cool. Anyway, each presenter only gets 45 minutes to talk, and the other 15 minutes we use to get the kids on the bus, travel to the next place, get them off of the bus, and ready to listen when they get to the next place. I had to coordinate with the airport director about ramp space and where we're going to put everybody when they fly in. I have to relay that to the people that are flying in, so that way we have to know who's coming and going, when they're coming, set up a schedule. I had to contact the insurance company, which has been very difficult because nobody understands aviation, ramp, and kids. So it was very difficult to find an insurance company that actually could put all of that together. And the company that I got, oh man, I have to check their everything over and over and over again until they get it right. So this has been a difficult year. It costs about almost $2,000 in order to have the insurance that we need for all the camps for the whole rest of the year. So that's a big chunk. I also take money out for the bus driver. We have a bus driver company that we use, and they too have to be licensed and have their insurance and their certificates available. And so we've had someone that we use all the time, but make sure that they're accredited before you bring them on. We always are looking for someone to support us as far as food is concerned. Lots of times we've been using Wendy's. They have been very kind in donating. Right now we have the aviation camp at Concord, and the airport manager, the director, has said that he would cover the meals, but that is actually, we sliced that in, that meal time for the camp. So everything has to work like clockwork in order to get these kids in, fed, and back out again to wherever they're going next. We've had a photographer. We need a photographer for one of our camps. We need a videographer because after the camp is over, I take the pictures, put them in a video, add music to it, and send that out so people could see it. But I have not had that time to do all of that in the last couple of camps. So we need somebody who's a professional, understands how to do that, make it look good. I did have a guy come through that I hired that did he did a commercial for me, and that commercial is available on the webpage and it also on my YouTube location. All right, we have a couple of folks. Yvonne Young, who's awesome. She is my editor. She is my assistant in everything that has to do with processing parents and students and Boy Scouts and everything that they're doing. I also have Jerry Warford, who runs our webpage. All right, the parents get to sign up 3 months ahead of time, and the availability to make payment is 2 months prior. And it takes that, we make it that close because the presenters, I will be calling right now, as a matter of fact, because they don't know what they're doing more than 2 months out. So calling them early just has them saying, I have no idea what to tell you, but it sounds good. And that's not a way to plan. So I have to wait until they actually know what's coming up, and then I can get them on the schedule. That's what I'm doing now. This is 2 months prior to the next camp. All right. I do not like to mention one camp and then have another camp behind it, because the parents will do something that really hurts, is that they will pay for the camp, have their kid come to the camp, and then like one day ahead of the camp go, oh, you know what, I can't make it. I'll just go to your other camp. So that is painful. So I don't actually advertise the following camp, which we have in June. I don't actually advertise it until we get so really close to the original camp. And if you're a no-show, you don't get your money back, because I can consider that a donation, because everything we've needed has already been paid for. I can't give all that money back. All right, Union County. I say Union County specifically because I need somebody that's on the inside of the school district. I've talked to them directly. I've gone straight to the head of the school district. And not one student in Monroe County comes to the Monroe Airport during the camp that we usually have in June. So just keep that in mind. I always need help. And the day before, whatever the camp is, I have to carry everything down to the location, unload the car, set up the classroom, and then get ready for the next day. And then I come in at 5. I leave home at about 6 o'clock in the morning to make sure that everything is now set up. Everybody is in the place where they need to be, talking to whoever they need to be talking to, so that it moves smoothly. Get the kids in, get their IDs, get their T-shirts, get their whatever forms and whatever they need to get back from their parents if they're last minute and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of things happen before they get into the classroom. We start at 8:30 on the dot, and the only way to do that is when everybody is doing their job. Let's see, I update the registration packet. So there is a registration packet. It's 8 pages long, and it starts out with the flyer that we used for this particular camp. So that goes out to all of the students. I don't, let's see here. Yeah, I already said that about the setting up for what we're doing. And Boy Scouts interested. Boy Scouts stay an extra half hour then from the camp from earlier, and we're trying to figure out a way to get the kids connected to their parents and sent home. And I fill out the blue cards at the end and talk to parents who want to say hi or whatever what's going on. Very tough to do all of that at the end. So I do, again, need lots of help and people to be there. Later, we also need to market the camp through all available options. We've been very fortunate. The word of mouth has gotten to the point where I have not even had to um, uh, market this camp. And I still already have a sign up of more kids than we can handle. However, it's the kids that pay, the parents that pay, that tells me what I really have in the camp. So I think we only have like maybe 15 kids so far, but I know we have at least 40 or 50 that have signed up. Here's a website address, and I want to make sure you understand HTTPS has to be in there before the aviationcamps.org. Otherwise, they will be sent to a location that says this is a bad website, and you it will be bad for you to continue. Do not continue to this page. But if it has HTTPS it's no problem. It's a beautiful web page. Let's see here. I need somebody who can help me get this information up and running to YouTube and Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. All of those social areas need to be contacted, and I'm so bad at it. And I'm also busy with other things, but it would be really great if somebody could do that. We need to purchase gifts for the presenters. That would be really nice. Right now I have like really nice pens. And even then, I don't have time to hand it out because we're so busy ripping and running. So it would be nice if the folks that go through the trouble of presenting to these kids had something that allows us to say thank you. Let's see. We're also talking about grab bags for the kids so they can take little things home for them. That again, that takes somebody's focus on finding things that would be kind of cool for the kids to walk home with. Contacting campers from previous camps is very important because if we want to get any kind of grant or scholarships from someone, they want to know, well, what have your kids been doing that have been to the camp? How did they like the camp? Did they go on to do anything with that? What information would they pass on to us that we would feel as though this camp is worthy of our money? News reporters, they want to talk to kids that have been in camp before so they can say, well, this was really great. We loved it when we were here. And I've had that before, but it's kind of hard to orchestrate. But with the help of Yvonne, now we were getting to the point where we can reach back and find those parents and say, what's your kid been doing? Because it doesn't have to be aviation, but it does have to show that some kind of confidence building happens when they come to this camp. And I want to make sure they see that. We need the parents to fill out the survey and tell us what happened there. Otherwise, there is no credible evidence that their kids even came to the camp, let alone that they enjoyed it or they learned something or they didn't learn something. This is also where we find out there's just something that we need to fix. Volunteers, anytime there's what we do as board of directors, what we do as volunteers before the camp, after the camp, that just gives you a seat as a chaperone. So you're automatically included as a person in the aviation camp to help out with the kids. But you will find that your workload is very, very light. All you have to do is get the kids where they're supposed to be, like on the bus or off the bus, or in their seats, or hand out lunches or something like that. Keeping them, giving them their IDs, taking their IDs back, making sure they connect with their own parents when they come to pick them up. So that's the little stuff that we do. Then I need to pack up the car, and that's an enormous amount of work. I have to clean the classroom. Here I am by myself. I'm the one who sweeps the floor, cleans off the tables, wipes stuff down. I need help with that. That's a lot of work, and it takes me, 2 hours to do all of that by myself. Well, more than that to do it by myself. I need help. At the end of the day, which is after 5, I still need people there to help do work. All right, flyers to donators. Anyone who has donated big to the camp also gets a free walk-on to come to the camp and be a part of it, because after all, they didn't help make that happen. We have Amazon.com has a program called smile.amazon.com. So you can go on Amazon, buy your products that you always buy, and go to Smile and buy it through the website smile.amazon.com. And they will ask you, or you can tell them, who do you want to donate to? And our names are on there, Aviation Camps of the Carolinas Incorporated, and they will donate 0.05% of the purchase amount to the camp. I don't know who has made that donation. It just comes from Amazon, and so it is no data is passed on whatsoever, and we don't know how much they sent or who they are or what they bought. And then so it's really good, something to pass out to folks. Costs nothing to anybody, and we get to benefit from that. So please let people know. Don't forget about the end of the year when people could be making their donations to get a tax break from that, and also Giving Tuesday every year after Black Friday and around Thanksgiving. The follow up is Giving Tuesday. I would like to be a part of that. I would like our name to come up when people start to realize that Giving Tuesday is a thing, and maybe they could give something to us. Right now, nobody even thinks of us. So we need a way of doing that, getting that information out there. There is a commercial that I had a young man create a couple of years ago, and it's time to make another commercial. And so I paid him a fair price. It was like a couple $100, and he put together a very, very nice commercial, and you can find it at this webpage. If you get this file, because I can send the whole file to you, tells you everything you need to know about running this camp. You'll find that webpage there. So let me see if I can take that down and find another webpage I want to show you. All right, I'm giving a lecture. This is the campus location that I had last year. And this is where they housed our camp. So the South Piedmont Community College has asked me to come and give a speech. And at that speech, I'm telling them, you need to pay me money. We've come up with $1,000. They're not paying me $1,500 like I had hoped. But $1,000 they're going to donate to the aviation camp, because I don't spend any money on myself. Every penny I make goes to the camp. But I'm not really good at pulling this together. So as far as getting donations, so I need you guys to help me with that. But this is one way that I can do it, is I can get money from an organization by way of me giving a speaking. I don't like to do speeches, so I don't know what to tell you. I do it because these guys were so gracious as to give us a classroom, a very nice classroom it was for our camp last year. So that's why I do that one. Let's see if I can bring this up. All right, take that down. Registration packet. All right, so we have pictures from our camps, and it's kind of nice to be able to see that. If somebody can get together a video at the end of the camp so the next camp can see what we've been up to, that would be awesome. And I'm running out of time, so I have like 7 minutes left. Here is you can't really see all of that much, but this is the donation part. You make a difference, and when they have selected their camp, or they have selected who they want to make a donation to, this is how it looks when it comes from Amazon.com. Okay, I have full registration. Okay, this came across my desk here recently. It is a ACE Camp qualification for a grant. The grant does not go to us, even though it's about aviation, teenagers, young people, getting them involved in aviation, and we do that. But it's the airport that gets that money. So I need to be able to put together a letter that goes out to the airports that we have our camps at, and tell them next year, because it's already closed for this year. Next year, they need to apply for this, because we make them qualified, and that by them getting that grant, they could use it for whatever they want to. But like I told you, the Concord director is going to give us our lunch, which is not $3,000 worth, but he's going to give us our lunch and anything else that he has to spend money on, like ramp space and maybe gasoline for some of the folks that fly in. I think that would be really great. And so all of these airports need to include us as the evidence that they do what is required for that grant. Take that down. And what else do I have on here? All right. Try to get through here. This one is just a full registration of the camp. This is what all of the parents get to see. Bring it up. Okay. This is what it looks like this year. I'm going to have a better flyer because I'm contracting with a real designer. But this is the camp, and I always take the flyer and put it on the very first page of the registration packet. So this is page 1. This is giving you information about the camp and the one that's coming up next. So the parents get to see all the possible things, not every time, but all the possible things that their kids could be seeing. Then they have to fill out a waiver of liability. So if their kid falls on the ramp and chips a tooth, the ramp is not liable, neither is the camp. They had to fill out this, although the camp is not mentioned on this form, they have to fill it out. They have to fill out 4 forms. That's one of them. Here's another one is an emergency treatment form. They need to fill that out for us, or pills if the kids have to take medication while they're in the camp. I need to know that. I need a person to verify and make sure that those kids are getting the medication they're supposed to have that day. So there's another person that we need to keep eye on. Student camp rules. I like the rules. The kids, we go over the rules step by step at the beginning of the camp so that there's no question about it, but the kids have to sign it down here. And I tell them, I said, don't sign anything you haven't read, but and they laugh about that, but they are so good. Once they understand the parameters, they stick with it. The kids are very good. So that's why I like it. I don't have to yell at the kids to get them to mind me. They just do it because we've already come face to face with what I expect of them. And then all I want them to do is have a good time. All right, here's another one about photography. Maybe you don't want your kid photographed. And there is a spot right down here at the bottom that if you don't want it, we can make arrangements. So it's just, you don't have to fill out the form to say that you don't want to be photographed. But it's also for volunteers and chaperones that if they don't want to be, if they don't mind being photographed, they can be on there. And then a little bit more about chaperones and volunteers. And so I will say to Shannon, this is where we talked about volunteers are people that help out before the camp and after the camp, not just the day of the camp. Volunteers also get to come and be in the camp on the day just because they should. It's the fun part of it. The chaperones, they usually don't show up or do anything ahead of time, even if they take pictures. That's not enough for me to give them a free slot. Chaperones have to pay for their slots. And here, I only put it on the registration packet, the exact location of the camp. I don't put that anywhere else except for on their packet. So they will show up, and people that find out about it the last second can't just show up and go, I need to get into this camp. We can't handle walk-ins. All right, and the last thing is just a little bit of background about me. All right, what else do I have? Oh, I got 3 minutes left. All right, just a little bit of admin work. I don't have a printer. I used to, but I don't have a printer anymore, because I used to waste so much paper, and it really didn't do anything. And I still had to go to get printed to get this. This is how I print out the names of all the students, and notice the same name on both sides. I color coded, so if they're Boy Scouts, I can see from a distance who to ask questions to. Anybody else who might be on the flight line, they get an ID card. Anybody who's a volunteer or a chaperone, I use the yellow background to put them on there. So sometimes we have a lot of kids, and so that's how these cards are written. And each name is typed in there, and then we print it out, and it has to be printed exactly right, cut out, and then folded and put into a packet that they wear around their neck. The airports expect to see that. That way they know that they're with us. If we have t-shirts, which would be really nice if somebody were to pay for the t-shirts, it comes out to about $400 or so. We also, by wearing the t-shirt, shows that they are with us, and we have no trouble with being out on the ramp. We always have to have a chaperone on the ramp, but and no problem with being on the ramp because they know that we are all together as a group and it looks professional. So I got the name tags on there, Stand Up Academy. I already talked about that. One last thing is here is our certificate of, I'm going to be snapped off here, so this may be the last thing you hear from me. Their certificate of liability insurance. This is all that they had to do, but it took a long time to get the dates right, and the certificate holder is actually the airport that we're going to. So that has to be done, and it takes a couple of months to get those guys to get that done, and it costs us big money. So I just wanted to let you know about that. All right, so that's all that I have right now. I would like you guys to participate as much as possible because the camp can't run by itself for any longer. So I'm going to need all of your assistance, and I appreciate all of you being here. Please take care. All right. If they gave me another second, I know they realized that I didn't start it. I started right on time at 3 o'clock. So if you have any questions for me, please get in touch with me, 215-868-5961. Tell me what you see that you can do or would like to do. I would appreciate that very much. We have a camp coming up. We're already in gear for that, but we also have the camp coming up in June. So if you see that it's the same list of items to do, if you see something on there that you can handle, that you could do, or you have a specialty, if you are a lawyer, if you're an accountant, if you are in financials, any of those things, your expertise is what's going to make the difference and take the load off a little bit for what I'm doing. I'm also trying to set together a foundation to help with the financing, but meanwhile, we still have to keep going the old route of getting money for this camp. So I appreciate you being here, and pass this information on to others. And please let me know any information, anything that you could do for a camp to help us out. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye.